Hoi Doorzetters. Today I've gone on an exhibition, it's a tongue twister, about the Titanic in Brisbane City. And I've decided to go to this because I've been thinking a lot about technology and how we are at the precipice of an AI revolution. And we need to be conscious about how we're using our state-of-the-art technologies and what the repercussions might be. I thought that by going to this exhibition, I could visit the exhibition with a lens about thinking about it from a future perspective. Let's see if any of the messages can be relevant for today. I just came out of the Titanic exhibition, and I wanted to talk about how I think that we can learn a lot from the story of the Titanic even today. Basically, I learned that when the Titanic set sail, it was at the turn of the 20th century, and at that time in history, it was a time of rapid technological advancement and change, and there was a lot of excitement about technology, very much like we have today in 2024 with AI. Back then it was about transportation, trying to create ships that could cross the Atlantic Ocean, particularly to meet requirements for migration, etc. And they described these ships as unsinkable because there was a special locking door system that they said would prevent water from entering the ship. I'm not an engineer, so I can't explain that, unfortunately. But it makes me think very much of today's technology and how it's exciting times, just like it was with the Titanic back then. They then talk about how the regulations weren't keeping up with the speed of technology. For example, the number of lifeboats that was on the Titanic was actually only enough to carry 40% of the passenger capacity. And this is because the number of lifeboats that they used was based on a regulation from years before that, where number of lifeboats was determined by tonnage and not by passenger number. And that was because when that regulation came about, it wasn't foreseen that a ship could carry so many people. And this kind of resonates with today's events, because we're having AI moving so fast and there's more regulation to determine what goes into a sandwich compared to what there is in making a super intelligent being that's autonomous and can have its own mind. And that's fascinating. So it just shows how technology we need to realize how quickly technology is moving, and we need to be able to adjust regulations accordingly. Then I also saw how just before it became apparent that the ship was going to hit the iceberg, another ship sent a wireless message to the Titanic informing them that there was a lot of ice. However, the person captaining at the time couldn't hear properly and just told them to shut up. And it makes me think about how people like Elon Musk, for example, when they talk about AI and the dangers, and some of them have been talking about it for years, people have not really taken them seriously and have sometimes told them to shut up and stop worrying, and that resonates particularly. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that right at the end, when it became apparent that they were about to hit the iceberg, I think they set completely starboard, they tried to completely change course, and they also tried to lock those special doors. However, it was too late, and those efforts were futile, unfortunately, and the doors couldn't withstand the forces and then there was flooding of the ship, etc. So in summary, I wanted to say that I think we should try to learn from the story of the Titanic and realize that it's a very relevant story to today's climate, and it has parallels with today with artificial intelligence. We're creating a technology that can basically create other technology, and a technology that can redesign itself, that can be autonomous, that can potentially have consciousness, that can potentially basically act as an independent agent in the world. And Stephen Fry has talked about this and linked it to how there are stories in Greek mythology that describe what's happening now, and I want to go down that rabbit hole and read some of his books and the Greek mythology. But what I wanted to say was, in conclusion, we can learn a lot from this story of the Titanic, particularly when it comes to artificial intelligence and AGI and technology as it is today. I wanted to see, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that we're riding on a different type of ship, but a ship that's about to crash into a super intelligent artificial intelligence? Let me know what you think. But whatever happens, we need to keep going. We moeten blijven doorzetten. Blijf doorzetters. Thank you for listening, and hope you found this content interesting. Thank you.